At dawn on February 26, 1936, under cover of a snowstorm, 1,400 soldiers assembled to mount an assault on their own government. Rebel soldiers and tanks occupied the center of Tokyo and assassinated key government leaders. Following Kita's blueprint for revolution, they called on the rest of the military to take charge of the country in the name of the emperor. Soon after the attack, loyalist troops surrounded the rebels. The government declared martial law. For 4 days, Tokyo was under siege. During the attack, the rebels had telephoned Ikki to tell him his vision of pure-hearted warriors saving a corrupt Japan was about to become reality. A recording of their conversation survives. The content of the phone call reveals little except that it took Kita completely by surprise. He was stunned that his book, an apocalyptic work of the imagination, had become a stark reality. The rebels had gambled on the emperor supporting their cause, but the emperor called them traitors. On February 29th, as loyalist troops prepared to open fire, the rebels surrendered. The February 26th rebellion gave Japan's pragmatic military leaders an excuse to do just what the rebels had proposed: take over the country from civilian politicians in the name of order and the emperor. "17 leaders of the revolt were executed. But most of those who revolted were not punished, only those with dangerous ideas. In 1937, Ikki was caught in the prison of his own imagination.
The army decided they better put him away while they investigated this incident, and pretty soon they executed him for treason as a communist. Now here's a guy who had, even by that time, 1937, been referred to as a right-wing radical. Now the army declares that he's a closet communist and shoots him.
The army feared Kita's plans to share Japan's wealth, but they would soon learn the propaganda value of many of Kita's other ideas. It turned out that Kita would be worth far more dead than alive. After Kita's death, the military glorified military expansion as an anti-Western crusade. Asia for the Asians was the battle cry. With cruel irony, the military used Kita's pan-Asian ideas not to liberate Asia, but to conquer it. The Japanese pushed further into China because they were afraid that Chiang might unify the country and form alliances with the West that might cut off Japan from China's resources. With cruel precision, they directed their most brutal attack on Chiang's capital, Nanjing. After taking the city, Japanese soldiers killed an estimated 200,000 men, women, and children.